host, Mike Lawyer. That's right. In for Pat Bernard tonight and man into tonight here on the program. Welcome to Interrap Sports. Again, I am your host, Mike Lawyer. Man, let me tell you something. Phils, what a big comeback win against probably the best team in baseball right now, the Detroit Tigers. And what a debut for the Phillies, two new shiny pieces. Not so much for Harrison Bader, but he did get a walk to get on base in this game. But Johan Duran is as advertised, ladies and gentlemen. There is no reason in the world why Rob Thompson should be bringing this guy in anytime before the ninth inning. The Phillies have their closer now for the next couple of years. What a win. What a comeback win tonight. We're going to dive into that. Also on the program tonight, we're going to be discussing the Eagles. Are, getting ready to have a much-needed day off tomorrow from mini camp as they get set to prepare for the Cincinnati Bengals. That's right. Cincinnati Bengals come into the link tonight. Or I'm sorry, they come in Thursday night into the link to play the Eagles as we get our first look at the Kevin Patullo offense with the second stringers. Look for Tanner McKee to start that one. So, we're going to get into the Birds a little bit. And also a little bit of NFC East news. Couple of the Eagles' rivals. That's right. Right now, there's some rumblings out of Dallas and D.C. A couple star players ain't too happy. Might want to take their talents elsewhere. Could Howie be poking around here? We'd have to wait and see. So let's get in. I'm going to get into some of your comments real quick. Joe Hale says, "Great game. I was there. Durant looks great." Oh, Joe, you got to see it go on. And I'll tell you what, that was a hell of an introduction, wasn't it? That he uses Durant with myself and probably Pat having a professional wrestling background. It was definitely good to see a little theatrics for him, and actually beginning with the Undertaker's theme, it was pretty cool. I think that'll go over really well here in October. So it's pretty cool. Mike Papernick checking in says, "Really good win." Mike, it was, and I'll tell you what, it was the bottom of that lineup, man, that got them going. I want to know what your thoughts are about Bryce Harper getting thrown out of the game. He got called out twice on two check swings, and I'll tell you what, to me, I didn't see the first one, but I did see the second one, and the second one was bogus to me. I don't care. I don't think he went. I know Maddie's an umpire. Maddie might be able to maybe comment on that maybe on Sunday if he wants to. But to me, I did not see that as a strike. So Adam C's checking in saying, Mike Papernick says Phillies needed this win as much as the Tigers as Scooble and Wheeler face off with each other tomorrow. That's going to be a hell of a game. And the funny thing is, the Tigers got the Sunday night game this week. I've seen Scooble and Wheeler on a national stage. Whew, good Lord. That would be just crazy. Adam C said, "I'm going to the preseason game versus the Browns." You know what? That's probably the best one. That's the second one. So you'll probably, if there is any starters that are going to play, you would definitely see them in that game. And there's a lot of this show tonight. I am really going to dive in. There's certain things that the Eagles are doing this year that, to me, are kind of letting you know what they're going to do this year. And one of the things, and I'll throw it out there real quick, is Ben Van Sumeren moving from linebacker to fullback. Okay, when was the last time you remember the Eagles with a fullback? I mean, if we're going to go, probably John Ritchie. I think that was probably the last one. I mean, before him, it was Cecil Martin. Before him, it was Kevin Turner. The fullback, them reintroducing that. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Eagles are going to do this year. And I think with that fullback uh, being put in this lineup with this Eagles team, I'll tell you what, man. It's definitely going to help out guys like Saquon Barkley, AJ Dillon. So, uh, but we're going to dive into this Phillies game. He said, Joe Hale saying Harper's check swing was a bogus call. The umpires suck tonight. Yeah, it seems like more and more, man. They're going to be moving towards those robotic umps. But my interesting thing is, if they do that, I'll tell you what. I just want to see who's going to. I just want to see who's going to argue with a robotic ump. I want to pay to see that. So, Ryan Swope checking in says, yo, what's going on, Ryan? How are you? Thank you for tuning in to the Wraparound tonight. Mike saying, it was close, but Bryce was feeling not happy with the ump's call tonight, so getting him tossed didn't shock me, but Robbie has no clue how to stick up for his players, as I would have liked to see Robbie go all Earl Weaver. Yeah, the thing is, Mike, though, that's not Robbie. Robbie's not an Earl Weaver type of manager. So you're really kind of getting him to come out. And I'll tell you what, I think what really kind of endured Charlie Manuel here to a lot of people is Manuel would have went out there and Manuel probably would have gotten tossed. So I'm not going to harp on Rob Thompson because that's not his thing. He doesn't do that. So I'll tell you what, I like to see what they do. I love what I saw tonight with them. I really did. The Phillies were down 3-0, and I'll tell you what, Flaherty was mowing them down, man. Flaherty was mowing them down tonight. And like you said, Mike, in your earlier comment, they got a tough one to go tomorrow, man, against Tyler Skubal. But the Tigers also have a tough one. They got to deal with Zach Wheeler. So I think that's going to be a great, great game. Whatever the total run, I'll say this tonight, Otto Kemp was, and this kid is, to me, he needs to stay with the big club. And the more he's proven, I think that he belongs on this big club. The days for Alec Bohm are ticking, and it's ticking fast. The fact that you have him going to left field now without a Kemp, like, where else are you going to put him? Think about it. When Bohm comes back, somebody's got to go back. So, bye-bye Preston, Weston Wilson. I wouldn't be honest that if he comes back, Max Kepler gets his walking papers. And you have Kemp and Bader kind of platooning and have them platooning in center field, and then you're going to have Marsh and Rojas platooning in center. I can definitely see that happening. I think Max Kepler's days as a Philly are numbered. I'm really surprised he's still really on this team, that they didn't DFA him already. So Ryan said, it's been a while since we've seen the Phillies hitters display this level of skill and strategy without relying on home runs, making tonight's game truly unforgettable and then come from behind fashion. Oh, and Johan Duran getting his first save as first game as a Philly, and the Wall of Fame inductions, just wow. Yes, and I'll tell you what, I love the message. If you guys watch that message, Jimmy Rollins was speaking to that team tonight. Jimmy Rollins turned around and said, I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing about the 08 team. Well, if you're tired of hearing about the 08 team, go do something about it. And if you look, those players were on, like, literally the top row of that dugout watching. He was talking to those players tonight. He said, you know what? You guys are hearing about us? Go make your own memories. And he's right. He says, he pretty much laid it out for him. He said, you guys are playing in a ballpark that's filled. Okay? You're playing in a ballpark that's filled. Damn near every night. You're playing decent baseball. You're near, if it wasn't for the, so I don't know. To me, I got a little bit of chills from that speech by Jimmy Rollins. He says, Robbie has to learn to stick up for his players better than this. This isn't the first time he hasn't stuck up for his players. True, Mike, it isn't. But like I said, it's just the way Robbie is. You know what I mean? He said the bat was 4 inches past the front of the plate and past the back of his knees. That's a swing, dude. Are you talking about the last one, Steve? Maybe the first one. I'm talking about the last one. That last one was not a strike. I'm sorry. He did that, but they did the side angle of it. It didn't go past home plate. If you're talking about the second when he got tossed, that was not a swing. When he got tossed, maybe the first inning one may have been, but that one was definitely not a swing. Even when they showed it on the side. So we're going to agree to disagree on that one. So he said, Ricky is watching. So Ricky, cheers to you, my man. This is my iced coffee right now, as you see, because it's 10:43, and I need the caffeine to keep up with you lovely people here tonight. As we do a mix of the Fighting's final and the wraparound tonight. So Al unfortunately could not do it tonight, so I told him I would cover it along with this show as I am stepping in for Pat. He said, where did Bader bat in the lineup? I believe he was down in the bottom of the lineup. I want to say he was probably 7th. I don't think he started. I think he came into the game because I was kind of in the midst of doing some stuff while the game was on, and I could have sworn I heard them say like Robbie was going to give him a blow because he had to catch like 2 flights or something to even get to the game today. So he had to like fly back from like Cleveland to Minnesota to get his stuff and then fly right to Philly. So, Steve saying what was bogus was the high inside strike. Harp thought it was that he was owed the benefit of the doubt, but that was a swing. Okay. I was shocked the Phillies didn't put Rollins, Utley, and Howard Owen together in the Phillies Wall of Fame. Yeah, I'm a little surprised about that too. He said Topper manages that well. That's what happens when you have a bench option and a real closer. Yeah, I will say this, man. With him, with Duran coming here, it's just to me. I don't know. I like to, now your 9th inning's covered, and I think with Alvarado coming back, even though he's not available for the postseason, I think with Alvarado coming back, like right now, you pretty much got 6, 7. You have 6th, 7th, and 8th pretty much covered going forward. Now you're not going to have Alvarado for the postseason, but you can do the combination of Banks and Strom in the 6th, or Kirkering in the 7th, and you have Alvarado for the 8th. When Alvarado cannot pitch come postseason, you just move everybody back. You moved maybe Banks into the 6th, Strom into the 7th, Kirkering into the 8th. Even though Kirkering gave up a home run, I still think he's got plenty of stuff. He said, dude, watch it. I did watch it. Steve, I still don't think it was a strike. The way it looked, I didn't see the replay. Like I said, I was kind of busy doing other things. When I saw it live, didn't look like a strike. And he says CSN has it. You'll see. All right, I'll take a look at it. But from my vantage point, when I first seen it, it didn't look like a strike at all. It looked like he barely got the plate around. Like I said, if you're talking about the one where he got tossed, did not look. Bader pitch hit. Okay, I thought he did because I was hearing early in the game that they decided that they were just going to give him a break. So, and then all of a sudden, boom. I hope Utley and Howard go into the Wall of Fame together. I think that might happen. It was really cool to see. It was really cool to see that Jimmy went in with Dave Montgomery. I thought that was really cool. He had too many flights. Yeah, Steve. Yeah. They definitely they were saying that on the telecast, man. He was kind of bouncing all around the country. Ryan says, yes, it went past the bat, but when he got tossed, it definitely was past home plate. I think Harper was upset in that if the call earlier in the strike if the at bat was high and inside. Durant is like T.O. was for the wide receiver corps. Anyone else can do their hump roll. Hey, look, listen, this guy's money, man. And the best part about it is the Phillies didn't have to give up the farm. They did give up a couple pieces with Tate and Mick Abel. And I was sad to see Mick Abel go. I didn't want him to be touched. But, if you look at it, they got rid of, Abel and Tate for, Durant. But they got Durant for the next 2.5 years before he's owed any type of money. So let's see what happens. Then why was he even allowed back at all if he can't pitch in the postseason? Might as well be for the rest of the season. That's just the ruling on it. If you get banned for PED, substances, you're not allowed in the postseason. I mean, that's what part of their collective bargaining agreement. Mike Pappern says, with Alvarado coming back, it gives Bank and Strom a little break to them and their arms going into the postseason. Yes, it does. And that's another thing, too. Like, you're going to start seeing it's going to give the starting pitching some breaks, too, because now they don't have to go 7 innings. Guys like Christopher Sanchez, Zach Wheeler, Ranger. Ranger went 7 innings tonight. It's going to cut back on them. So, to me, I just he says trading Tait equals sign JT 2.0. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that could happen. They could go back and go get Matty B's favorite catcher, Logan O'Hoppe, when he becomes a free agent. You never know. But to me, guys, if you're thinking about this Phillies team, the way they look tonight and the way that those bats came alive, again, we're going to look at it. I'm going to give you a brief game recap, okay, on this game. Top of the third, Gleyber Torres would hit a 3-run home run, scoring Perez, and Jones would also score on that play. Detroit would go up 3-0 on those fightings, and it would stay 3-0 all the way to the bottom of the 7th. Otto Kemp would hit a single that would knock Amundo Sosa over to Nick Castellanos to third base. It would be first and third. And Bryson Stott would hit a sacrifice fly to center. Nick Castellanos would score. Otto Kemp would be at second. Trey Turner would follow that up with a single to right field. Otto Kemp would come in to score. Harrison Bader would go to second. The very next batter, Kyle Schwarber, Mr. Money, man. Just back up the Brinks truck and give it to the dude. He singles on a line drive to right field. Harrison Bader comes flying around the base. And that's another thing, too, that adds to this Phillies lineup now with Bader being brilliant. That dude can friggin' fly, man. He can fly. He comes around. The game is tied at 3. We go to the top of the 8th. Perez would hit a home run off of Orion Kirkering to right center field, giving Detroit a 4-3 lead. And at that moment, if you're looking on MLB.com, it says Detroit win probability was 75.3% for them to win the game. Bottom of the 8th inning, Otto Kemp would hit a double to left field. It would score Nick Castellanos, tying the game at 4. And then the play really, I think, of the game really was Bryson Stott. He beats a play out to first base. After review, he is called safe, and Otto Kemp would come in to score. It would give the Phillies a 5-4 lead, and then Johan Duran comes in and pitches a 4-pitch 9th inning. That's right, folks. He got 3 outs on 4 pitches tonight. Like, I'm sorry. Like, for me, man, holy cow, was that amazing. I'm sorry. We haven't seen a closer do that type of stuff here in a long time, like probably Brad Lidge. Okay, so that would be your final from South Philadelphia tonight as the Phillies would beat the Detroit Tigers 5-4. Let's give you some I'm going to give you some scores from around Major League Baseball today. In D.C., the Brewers would tack on a late touchdown as they beat the Nationals 16-9. Holy cow, was the ball flying out in D.C. today. Whew, Lord. It was the Royals beating the Blue Jays 9-3. It was the Guardians over those Twins 3-2. The Red Sox beat the Astros 2-1. It was the Giants over the Mets up in Flushing today, 4-3. Another low-scoring game in Miami as the Yankees lead 12-10 over the Marlins as they are in the bottom of the 9th. The Dodgers beat Tampa Bay 5-0. What is up with these scores today? Holy cow. In Colorado, the Pirates are up by a touchdown, 16-10 over the Rockies. Right now, it is the White Sox with a field goal lead over those Anaheim Angels, and just out in the on the left coast there, you have the Cardinals with a 1-0 lead over the San Diego Padres. You have the Athletics with a 4-0 lead over the Diamondbacks, and it is the Mariners with a 1-0 lead over the Texas Rangers. So there is your Major League scoreboard. Holy cow, look at these games. 1, 2, 3. 3 games right now with teams in double digits. Holy cow. 16-9 Brewers over the Nationals. Yankees with a late safety leading the Marlins 12-10, and the Pirates are up by a touchdown 16-10 over the Rockies. Good Lord, guys. Good Lord. What a night in the major leagues. Whew. Let's see. Steve checking in says Logo Hoppy's not even having a good career. He cracks me up with that trade hill. He will die on it, Matty. Yes, he will. He'll also die on the hill too that he doesn't think Howie Roseman's a good GM. Will Alvarado be in the minors for a little? How will his mindset be known he won't be pitching? I don't know how his mindset's going to be, man, but I'll tell you what. I'm pretty sure he'll probably have to go down and do like a rehab stint and get him ramped up for him to come up here. So I would probably look when it's up. Just take a look at him, maybe go to Lehigh for a couple games and then pop up here and get ready to help the Phillies down the stretch. Will he be wild and inconsistent? I don't think so. I think he'll be back pitching really good. This Phillies team wasn't doing anything offensively to the bottom of the seventh, so the Phillies have to do better than that. They do, Mike, but you also got to look who they were going against, too. I mean, they were going against Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty's not it's not – they weren't going up against some scrub tonight, man. Flaherty looked really good, man. He was dominant. He was keeping the ball down. He had like 7 or 8 strikeouts in the game. Tell me Flaherty didn't look like 2018 Nola tonight. Hinch gave us that game. I believe so. I think Hinch did give us that game. I think he overthought it. To be honest with you, Detroit has never been able to hit Durant. No, he's got like 20 saves against them. Ricky is running live tonight. Ricky's running live. Good for Ricky. Guys, make sure you check out all the great content that we put out here for you on It's a Wrap Sportsnet. Starting this Sunday, that's right, it'll be me and Al this Sunday while Pat still figures things out. So make sure you tune in 9 o'clock for A&M in the AM. So make sure you tune in for that. And then Sunday night, the man, the myth, the legend, that's right, Matty B. It's his world. We're just living in it. He will be on with the final word for you guys. Thursday, the Attacking Third. That's right. Check out Steve Fuentes as he will have you covered with all the MLS action and, of course, our union. And, of course, I will be taking in the steps for Pat until he's able to get going with himself on the wraparound. So I will be here filling in for Pat until then. This is the schedule for the games tomorrow. Like I said, Al couldn't do it tonight. It's supposed to be Pat for tomorrow and Sunday. I would imagine Matty B is going to be taking that over. So make sure you guys check into that. And I'll tell you what, we have the new schedule coming up soon for the Fightins final. If I could take a look, did they put it up yet? No, they didn't. Okay. All right. So make sure you guys look around for that so you can definitely see what's going on there. We will definitely be having you covered, as we always do here on It's a Wrap Sports Network. He said, didn't the Tigers trade for Finnegan? I have no idea, buddy. I have no idea. Steve Noom's checking in, says, Nola, 3 scoreless innings for Lehigh Valley tonight. Crawford, 2 hits, hitting 327. Keaton Anthony hitting 323. I'll tell you what, that Keaton Anthony is heating up. I've been hearing nothing but good things about him. He's another name now that's starting to heat up. If you were watching Matty last night, Matty was basically giving you all the new rankings of the Phillies prospects now in their organization since Taillon and Abel were moved in the deadline. So, Mike, to answer your question, I don't know if he went there. I only caught some of the trades. I know the Padres were very busy at the trade deadline. I thought the Padres gave up way too much for Mason Miller. Way too much. So No bargain basement Wi-Fi for Pat. Bargain basement Bernard. That's great. That is great. Oh man. Oh man. I'll tell you. Well, listen, we're gonna kind of move it on over to the birds right now. Because I want to know what your guys' feeling is going into what are you guys looking forward to Thursday night's game against those oh the Tigers did trade for Nationals Finnegan. Okay, so they did trade for him. I didn't see it. I know that was the guy I wanted here. As I wanted him here. So, but I'll tell you what, that Tiger team's going to be a tough out. I think they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. And you know what? A lot of people were thinking, Toronto, Houston, that Detroit team is going to be a tough out in the playoffs. It would not surprise me if they are the American League representative for the World Series. They've been the best team all year. They've been running around smacking people around in the American League. So, would it surprise me? No. Sorry about that. Had to wet the whistle as we keep going. We're going to move on to the birds. I guess test one comes Thursday night in the form of the Fighting Cincinnati Joe Burrows, or better known as the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to be interested to see. I'm probably going to be watching like everybody else. Unfortunately, I will not be in this area. Unfortunately, I'm training at work, so I will be up near Hershey, Pennsylvania. So I will be leaving probably right after the show Sunday morning to have to head back up there for my last week of work up there. But I'm going to have to find a spot up there that's going to have this game on because I'm very interested to see how this Eagles team is going to look. I want to see how the defense looks. I'm pretty sure they're going to be running a lot of vanilla stuff. But again, like I've been looking at this Eagles schedule, and the more people have talked about this opening 4 weeks of their schedule, the more I think the Eagles really have an advantage. I really truly do. I think they have a really great what did Mike put up here? Mike said Yankees traded for like 5 relief pitchers, the Mets 3 relief pitchers, and the Padres. Yeah, but the Mets got some really good ones, though. I'm not going to lie. Like Mets went out and got Halsey. They got the reliever, the submarine guy, the sidearm guy from San Francisco. They brought him in. The reason why the Mets went out and bolstered their bullpen is because they know they're going to have to use their bullpen because their starting pitching sucks. Like, I'm not scared of nobody on there. Even the guy, what's his name? The Japanese pitcher that got hurt against the Phillies. Like, I'm not worried about him either. Now, the Mets can rake. They can rake. And you're going to have to, put your big boy, you're going to have to outslug the Mets to get by the Mets. But they don't have the pitching. and if your pitching gets hot, again, I'm a lot more confident this year looking at Phillies Mets, and it doesn't even matter how the season series goes because, it's all about catching the team at the right time. But if you're looking at it just a 3-game set and you're rolling out there Ranger, Christopher Sanchez, and Zach Wheeler, that's going to be hard for that Mets team to beat. And now you have a dominant closer on the back end, which means guys like Joe Ross and Jordan Romano have less time to kind of screw the game up. You know what I mean? So, I just the way I see it, man, it's going to be something to see with the baseball playoffs going forward. But I have moved on, and we are talking about the birds right now. And Mike says, I just want to see how Trotter is going to look starting in the new secondary. Same here. And Steve said trade it. He said the Yanks look like a Division III pen right now. Division P. Oh wow, they sent Joe Ross down. See, I've been away all week, man. I haven't seen nothing that I have not. It is my ignorance, guys. I apologize. I did not know that they sent Ross down to the minors. So, oh, good. Let him stay there. Is there any room for Romano down there? I mean, you know, but I want to see something, man. The one thing I don't like about if you look at this Bird schedule coming up, and as I was looking at it, they don't get a back to back home. They don't get back to back home games this year, but there's twice, 2 or 3 times they get back to back road games, and I thought the NFL kind of jerked them around with that one, considering they're defending Super Bowl champions. I don't like how they did that. I've been looking at this schedule, and I'm going to bring it up. I know I bring it up almost every show, but the more I'm looking at these first 5 games, and because I'm not counting that Giants Thursday night game at all. I mean, it's a division game. It'll probably be a close one, but I still don't think the Giants are on the Eagles level. I think they can go in there with Tanner McKee and beat them, and A.J. Dillon without Barkley. So to me, I think they can do that. And the Giants got a pretty decent defense. I will say that. I'm just not scared of the Giants offense. Again, all this things with, going on in Dallas right now, their best defensive players, Michael Parsons, is he even going to be on the field for week 1? We got 5 weeks from last night before the Eagles play. Is Michael Parsons even going to be on the field? If he's not on the field, I'm sorry. That Dallas defense ain't got a chance coming in here and stopping anybody because the Eagles can just key on other guys on there. They don't have to worry about where Parsons is running around. Again, this Kansas City game, people are forgetting. They got to go to Brazil this year. They got to play the Chargers. Okay? They're going to find out. They're flying down into that other continent to go play that game and then happen to come home and play their home opener. That's real. If you remember last year, guys, the Eagles lost this game. That was the Atlanta game. They were out of sorts. Didn't look right. This Rams game, yes. Do I think the Rams have a good team? Do I think the Rams can win the West this year? Yes, they can. Problem is, the Rams are coming to play the Eagles. They got to fly from west to east, and they got a 1 o'clock game that never bodes well for a West Coast team. I don't know about this Tampa game because I got to see how Tampa's looking. I'm going to be honest with you. I know they beat the Eagles last year, but I don't know. I got to wait and see how this Tampa team's playing. This Denver game is going to be tough. I really do think that this Denver game is going to be tough, but there again, you have a team coming from basically West Coast, not West Coast, but Mountain. They're coming from the Mountain time frame. They're coming east to play a 1 o'clock game. Teams that got to come from west to east to play a 1 o'clock game, they usually do not win those games. Now, I'm not saying the Eagles can't have a bad game and not do that, but this gauntlet that I thought it was to open the season, I don't think it's so much of a gauntlet anymore. I'm sorry. I mean, the Eagles, the last time they played Kansas City in Kansas City, yeah, they pretty much beat them. So I'm looking at this thing, again, if I'm looking at those first 5 games, I think they could be 4-1 because I think they can go to Kansas City and beat Kansas City. They know how to beat Kansas City, and they've beaten Kansas City pretty bad. So, and I like the fact that, yes, there's some guys on this team that I am very excited to see play. Ty Robinson's one of them, the Vanilla Gorilla. So cannot wait to watch this kid play. Josh Uche. I can't wait to see how he's going to be. He's got to be, if he gets any more, if he does, God, if he's able to put out just to give us what he gave Kansas City last year, it's more of an upgrade from what Bryce Huff gave us a year ago. Okay? Ojulari. I think he's going to have a monster year with this Eagles team because he can rush the passer. And that's not including Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt. These guys are going to be well rested. I'm loving what I'm seeing from this Eagles team. They're young. And the Eagles were smart. Like, I understand Matty don't like to give Howie his flowers. on this, you got to give him his flowers for it because he took care of one side of the ball, made sure they were all locked up. Okay. And by the time those contracts are starting to come down and expire, okay, he can go out and get good young defensive talent, which he went out, he has acquired. Now he's got to start paying them guys. So again, you got to give Howie his credit on this. And again, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with this. Mike checking in. He goes, Eagles also play back-to-back road games. Yeah, Mike, I just brought that up. I'm going to bring that up again, too, because I want to see something right here. You have literally, Mike, let me take your comment off real quick. I'm sorry. You literally have 2 back-to-back games, week 6 and week 7. You're at the Giants, at Minnesota, okay? Then they're not back-to-back for the rest of the year. It's just basically home away, home away. You have at Green Bay, home for Detroit, at Dallas, home for Chicago, at the Chargers, home for Vegas, at Washington. Oh, I'm sorry, at Washington, at Buffalo. So I don't like that. I just don't think that, I don't think the NFL did them any favors, not giving them back-to-back link games at all this year. Todd Bowles seems to catch the birds at the right time. Yeah, he does. I want to see the Eagles send that team a message this year. Like, I would love to see the Eagles go down there and drop a 40-burger on them and make Baker Mayfield eat dirt all day. I really do. Like, that's the one team I want to see them just kick the total snot out of this year. Besides the Cowboys. There's no love there. But, I mean, God, kind of beating up on the Cowboys now. Like, I don't know. Like, I just want to know what Cowboy fans are going to say and I'm talking about the asinine Cowboy fans. I mean, I know some pretty good ones that are pretty. I think I gave them a better record than a couple of guys that I know that do a Cowboys podcast. One of them, he told me I was being generous. So I mean, he's not expecting nothing big from the Cowboys this year. But I don't know. Looking at it, and let's get into this as we I want to shift a little bit over towards this. The two teams in the NFC East right now with their 2 stars. You got Michael Parsons in Dallas, and you also have Terry McLaurin in Washington right now. They're both requesting trades now. I mean, unfortunately for the Eagles, we don't play Deebo Samuel and the Washington team until December. But good Lord, man. Like, what is going on there? Like, I'm sorry. Like, if I'm a Commanders fan right now, I'm a little angry with my ownership group because McLaurin was a guy who was there, came in, did his job, and was really there with the team when they were bad. And you're supposed to reward a guy like that. And Washington went from being one of the youngest teams in the NFL to one of the oldest in one offseason. Because you look at who they're adding. They added Von Miller. They added Deebo Samuel. I mean, they're adding guys, again, to me, it looks like Josh Harris is doing to the Washington football team what he did to the Sixers. Tell me right now, if you don't really sit there and look at the Washington Commanders and you don't see the NFL's version of the 76ers, because that's what I see. That's what I see down there. They got a good young quarterback, which, by the way, I like him. I think he's going to be a stud. But guess what? I also think he takes a step back this year. Because just the year before, the stud was C.J. Stroud. And C.J. Stroud struggled last year. And he had a damn good team around him. A good defense, good running back, good wide receivers. He struggled last year. Jaden Daniels is going to struggle this year. People forget, defensive coordinators get paid too. Okay? And some of the stuff that he was able to do last year, he's not sneaking up on nobody. There's a whole year's worth of tape. So, I mean, just look at the NFC title game. Like, I'm sorry, he looked like a rookie quarterback in that NFC title game. He really did. So the way I look at it, man, it's going to be I think they take a step back. I think the Cowboys are going to be right there. I do, because I think Dak and CD have enough. With adding Pickens now, you take some pressure off of CD Lamb, and I do like Dallas's tight ends. They always seem to find really good ones. The question is going to be, is that young offensive line. The 3 first-round draft picks that they have on that offensive line, and will their top draft pick be able to sustain himself this year? There's going to be a learning curve, but I kind of like what the Cowboys did this year. They kind of took the Eagles' MO. They're starting to build from the interior lines on out. And like I said, Dak can throw the ball. A lot of people don't like to give Dak credit. They say, during the regular season, man, Dak can throw the ball with the best of them. He just got to get by that, that hurdle in the playoffs. And I think it'll happen for them. I don't know if it'll happen this year, but Dak's a smart quarterback. And I think really, if you're looking at it, Dak may have to leave Dallas to experience that. And, that would be a kick in the pants, I think, for any Cowboys fan, if Dak were to go somewhere else. Because I think they're only going to give him the keys to the car not for so much longer. I mean, he's had the keys to the cars. There's been injuries. There's been unsuccessful playoff trips. And sooner or later, man, you got to look in the mirror. But, I mean, during the regular season, Dak's money. Dak will put up anywhere from, 4,000 to 6,000 yards throwing the ball. And, CeeDee Lamb's going to get his numbers. CeeDee Lamb's a great receiver. So, to me, I don't think the Cowboys are as far off. Like, a lot of people have them coming in third. To be honest with you, I think they're going to be fighting the Commanders for second. I really do. I think the only problem with Dallas is they can't stop the run. Their defense cannot stop the run, and that's what the Eagles do best. So, again, to me, this is the Eagles' division to win. I think it's the Eagles' conference to win, to be honest with you, because I don't really see too many teams in the NFC. Detroit, I guess we're going to find out how that's going to go about when they bring their big 3 in here to play us. And that's going to be a great game. I'm just thankful that it's on a Sunday night. But again, if you're looking at the schedule, it's coming off of the Monday night game. They play a Sunday night game, and then they got to go to Dallas. So it's kind of sandwiched in, but it's 3 NFC opponents in a row for that game. And there it is. I think Chicago will be a little bit better this year. This game, the Chargers game might be a loss, only because they got to fly cross country to go play that game. But I don't think the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are going to do nothing. And like I said, I think they win this first Washington matchup. And I'm telling you right now, I think they go to Buffalo and beat Buffalo. I think they go into Orchard Park, and I think they beat the Bills. Josh Allen's a great quarterback, but if you're looking at the teams, the Eagles just got a better overall team. They got a better overall team. And I think they can control the clock up against that Buffalo defense. I like the Eagles this year. I got them 13-4 because I think that last game's not going to matter. I see them kind of splitting with the Cowboys this year. I see them splitting with the Skins, the Commanders. So there's 3 right there. And what was the other one I had? At first, I was going to say this Minnesota game, but then I thought about it. They have J.J. McCarthy playing quarterback, and Vic Fangio is going to eat him up, man. One of these games in here, let's see. You have Washington. You have the second game with Dallas. So there's 2 right there. I'll give them what was the other game I was just looking at that I said, maybe Tampa Bay or Denver. One of those 2 games. There's a game on here on this schedule that you think the Eagles are probably going to lose, that they're going to win. and there is a game on here that you think that they are going to win and they're going to lose. So, I mean, for me, that's what I'm thinking going forward with this. Mike Papernick, or what did Steve right here? He said, what do you expect from Josh Harris? I just made that comparison, Steve. I didn't even see that you put that up here. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me show you the comments up here on the screen. How about that? So, he says, I like Micah and McLaurin, but with them being in our division, I don't want to give them any picks. I kind of agree with you there. But, the interesting thing to me would be watch around the trade deadline. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed this trade deadline with the NFL's kind of picked up over the last few years, probably like the last 10 years. The NFL trade deadline's been pretty solid. And I think they could get a mid-round pick for a Micah Parsons. If he holds out, they could trade him away. They'll get something for him. It's better than him walking at the end of the season because he can sit out the week 8, decide to report, play his last, whatever many games with the Cowboys and be like, it's been real. See, I'm a free agent, and go do his thing. So, at least if the Cowboys make a trade, same thing with McLaurin. They could do the same thing with McLaurin. And, I'm a little angry because I felt like, the Birds, could you imagine adding Terry McLaurin to this receiving core? Like, you want to talk about a stacked team? Then you would hear every Eagles hater in the world talking about they got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and now Terry McLaurin. Could you imagine that? But I don't think Howie wants to pay the in-division tax as he was quoted this past year at the draft. So, well, guys, I am going to I'm going to take this one home, guys. I thank you guys for tuning in. Again, Phillies win a wild one, and I mean a wild one tonight at Citizens Bank Park. Don't forget, coming up, you will probably have Matty B on the Fighting's Final for tomorrow and Sunday. And don't forget, Sunday night's game is a nationally televised game. It'll be on ESPN. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Guys, tune in for me and Pat. I'm sorry, me and Al. Pat won't be on. But you tune in for me and Al on Sunday morning. If Al can't make it, then it'll just be me. But tune in anyway, PM in the AM. Your Sundays will not be the same. Sunday night, you got the return of Matty B and the final word. Also, with Matty B doing the filling in for Pat on the Fighting's Final, he will have the Down on the Farm segment, which he does an amazing job. You think he's good at that? You should see the hockey when he does the hockey prospects. Like, Matty B is that dude, man. Again, make sure you guys tune in to all of the shows. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even give the other shows love. I got to do it. The Attacking Third, make sure you check in with that with Steve Fuentes as we are all covering for our boy Pat. Every Thursday night, he will be covering the Union and all the action going on in the MLS. And, of course, the Wraparound. That's right. I will be taking over for Pat until Pat is ready. He gets things figured out. So it'll be the Wraparound with Mike Lauro for right now. But definitely, guys, tune in. We have a couple more comments for you, and I'm going to get out of here. He says McLaurin would look good in Baltimore, Buffalo, or Houston. I would love for him to go to Houston. I think he would gel great with C.J. Stroud. I don't want him in Baltimore. I think Baltimore's a place where you go to die. They do so much running in Baltimore, and he's so tight end friendly down there is Lamar Jackson. If you ever watch a Ravens game, man, you think Jalen Hurts, like, you thought Carson Wentz had an affection with tight ends? Holy cow. Start Isaiah Likely in some of your fantasy football games this year, guys. That's all I'm going to say. He said Micah will look good with the Rams, Lions, or Tampa. I could see the Lions try to push for him if he's there because they need somebody opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. You put him on that Rams defense. Holy, that's a game changer. And the reason why I say that is because the Rams already got a good young front four. So you put them in. Tampa, I'm not sold on Tampa, man. I think they're probably the best team out of that division, and they're kind of losing that closely too because Atlanta's kind of creeping in, and Carolina's getting better too. I think Carolina's going to be a lot better than people think this year. I really, truly do. Mike says, I think Washington takes a step back if the Commanders have no real running back threat. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. The kid that got shot, his name's slipping me right now. Robinson. Robinson's the real deal at running back, man. He is the real deal. He's just got to stay healthy. And there's a year's tape on Jaden Daniels. That's what I just said. He says, Dallas has Micah for one more year after this. No, this is his last year. He's on the last year of his rookie deal this year. So it's not 27. He's a free agent after this year. But again, he wants a new deal. They're not going to give it to him. He's going to hold out. Mike saying, good show, brother. I say thank you. Well, guys, it has been fun for me. And I'll tell you what, I will see you guys Sunday morning, 9 a.m. For P&M in the AM. Phil's win, 5-4. Johan Duran, 4-pitch save tonight for the Phillies. And let's get ready for our birds, huh? I will see you guys Sunday morning. You guys have a great rest of your Friday.